Okay, good morning all. Thank you for joining this RUCKUS and WatchGuard webinar. My name's Paul Summerland. I'm an account manager here at Purdicom. I've been joined by my colleague Alex Claro, who is head of technical here at Purdicom. Are you there, Alex?
I am indeed. Just helps if I press the unmute button.
Do you know what? Always helps. Always helps. So yeah, so thank you for joining today. Appreciate you taking the next kind of hour to listen in. This webinar is all about kind of RUCKUS and WatchGuard really, and the integration between the two technologies. We're going to hopefully talk about, if Alex could go to the agenda slide for me, going to give everybody a quick overview about Purdicom. So if you aren't familiar with us as a distributor, I'll just kind of explain who we are, what we do, and why we do what we do. I'll kind of give you guys an introduction into WatchGuard as a vendor, as a technology. My colleague Alex will do some demos around the products and talk about obviously the current threat out there at the moment, which I'm sure many of you are aware is happening at the moment. We'll then talk about the positioning of WatchGuard, how we at Purdicom can support you and your business with pushing WatchGuard to your partners or your end users. I'll have a quick chat around the tools that are out there for you to access, both from a sales perspective and from a kind of configuration and a project-based tool perspective as well. I'll talk about some of the value add that we can offer, which is one of our kind of key things here at Purdicom. The full support you have from the team over in technical. I'll briefly talk about the promotions that are running. I know there's some quite key promotions that you guys can get your hands on for the end of the year, which I'm sure some will start again in the new year, but there's some quite key things happening. Appreciate it's the end of the year, last month, and we've only got a couple of weeks, but there is some nice things to discuss from a promotion perspective, and then we'll do some Q&A. So this is a live webinar. So if you've got any questions, please feel free, write them in the tab in the message box, and we will answer as many as we can at the end of this presentation. So Purdicom, who are Purdicom? Purdicom we class ourselves as a next generation wireless and networking security distributor. We are what we call a true value add distributor. And when we say true value add, it's all about support. It's all about how can we help our partners with all the resources that we have available to help you promote, push, increase revenue into your end users. That is our main focus, our main key. People probably know us best for being RUCKUS's largest distributor, and we have been for some time. Our core value within our business has been wireless, whether that's kind of your infrastructure wireless, your access points, internal access points, or whether it's your point-to-point or point-to-multipoint with your SIT-glue or your Cambium EPMP range. That was kind of the basis of Purdicom. And throughout the years, as we've kind of progressed and pushed on with our vendors, we've kind of looked to enhance our portfolios, be able to offer additional revenue streams to our partners. So as you can see on the slide here, CommScope RUCKUS is one of our key vendors, and we've been distributing for some time. And as I mentioned, been RUCKUS's largest distributor now for many years. Cambium Networks, again, we've been with these guys for some time, both from a point-to-point and a point-to-multipoint perspective, but with Cambium Networks now releasing their CM Maestro, and with the acquisition of Xeris, they are now into that kind of infrastructure space as well, which has been great. SIT-glue has been a partner of us now for some time again as well, with the point-to-point and point-to-multipoint, so your long distance, high throughput type deployments. The the technologies that you can see under are all kind of additions and added technologies to help support our core focus around the wireless piece. So your SerTo UPS, we all appreciate how important it is that we have a secure and resilient network. So that was a new product that we brought on recently. WatchGuard, which we'll obviously talk about today, how we can support you and help secure these networks that our partners are installing. ASCOM around the mobility piece, apologies. So they're all about voice over Wi-Fi, but they're also around kind of security and keeping their colleagues and employees safe. Very big within hospitality, huge within healthcare. The ability to turn off or to send out certain signals if people are in need or in help, or turn off machinery, having that integration with the network. Fantastic product. Obviously, with the acquisition of CommScope recently, we've now got the full range or access to their core cabling opportunities and products. In Capto, which is an onboarding solution. So when you're entering a scenario or a site or a hotel or any kind of venue, and you want an easy splash page or an easy way for guests to onboard, and Capto offers that solution, being able to grab data, send out marketing material. Superb product. And recently, actually, Nomadics, I think, is probably our most recent addition to our Purdicom portfolio. Again, a super simple, easy way for guests to onboard on networks. So as you can see, these products or these vendors that we've added to our core wireless business are all there to help add revenue, to support the existing base that we had, and you get the full support throughout these products, both from Purdicom and from the vendor as well. So yeah, so like I said, it's there to help, there to support, and there to add revenue to some of your deals. But today's focus is more on the Purdicom, WatchGuard, and RUCKUS. So why did Purdicom choose WatchGuard as a security vendor? Because we have such a huge space out there at the moment with RUCKUS and with our partners, we wanted to be able to find a product that was in the same league, both enterprise, offered award-winning products. So if we talk about the RUCKUS recently with the CRN award they got for their 7850 core switch, the way that the R750 was used for the Wi-Fi Alliance and the Wi-Fi 6 testbed access point, we wanted to make sure that the brand or the vendor that we went for was working in the same league. And again, that is why WatchGuard was chosen. They see themselves, and they are the #1 security technology out there in the market for that SMB, SME type space. They're huge within hospitality, as RUCKUS, Cambium, and some of our wireless vendors. So the similarities are there, and as I mentioned before, they are both enterprise grade products. They complement each other very well, as I mentioned before, whether it's using the WatchGuard WIPS solution that I know Alex is going to talk about shortly, or whether it's being able to secure from the data point in all the way to their acquisition with Panda and doing endpoint protection. So now that we have the network, now that we have the wireless and the wired, we've now got the ability to offer a secure, high enterprise level firewall along with protection at the endpoint. One of the key things that again attracted both Purdicom to WatchGuard and to distribute these guys as a vendor was their value add. I know I mentioned briefly with Purdicom and how we class ourselves as a value added distributor. That is one of our core factors and core ethics. We want to make sure that we are giving the same support, the same value that we've worked with RUCKUS for so many years, we can now work with a similar vendor as well. And WatchGuard is that partner. They're always there to support you. They're 100% channel focused. They have a fantastic channel program, which we'll discuss shortly. It's just the right and the perfect combination, really, to have RUCKUS and WatchGuard working in unison together. And they also offer professional services. So similar to RUCKUS, similar to Cambium, similar to Sickly, everything that we offer, they can do as well. And again, that was another important factor to why we decided to kind of team up with WatchGuard and offer that as an additional service to our existing portfolio. Next slide, please, Alex. Thank you. I feel like I'm a guy off of the BBC. Right, so who are WatchGuard? So WatchGuard have been around for 20 years. They're a pioneer in cutting-edge cyber security technology. They really class themselves on easy to deploy and easy to manage solutions. That's what they base their whole ethics on, being an enterprise-grade security product, but making it so easy to deploy and so easy to manage. They have 80,000 small and mid-sized enterprises out there in the world that they're protecting at the moment, with over 10 million endpoints. So they have been in the business for a very, very long time. They really, really do understand the security market. And bringing these guys on, like I mentioned before with RUCKUS, is another superb way to get another additional revenue stream into our existing wireless portfolio. They have a fantastic WatchGuard One partner program, which we'll discuss shortly later on, where it gives you the ability to work your way up the different tiers, gain different access to different discounts, all again supported through Purdicom. They are 100% channel focused, 100% of the time. So I don't know whether you have kind of security vendors out there at the moment that potentially go to direct to end user. These are 100% channel focused, similar to RUCKUS, similar to Cambium, similar to Sickly, Ascom, all our vendors that we distribute for. They are 100% channel. Very, very important. Very interesting though that's happened recently. I'm not sure if everybody's aware, but the acquisition of Panda, which is now again opened up another solution that we can offer our partners with the endpoint protection. Again, Alex will talk a little bit more of the technicalities around this, but this is another add-on or another addition that we can add to the security piece of securing these networks, really. So I'm going to hand you over to Alex. He's going to kind of go through the threat landscape, do some demonstrations of some of their products, and then I'll come back and talk more around go-to-market and some of the promotions. So over to you, Alex.
Thank you very much, Paul. So it's going to be quite a short couple of demos for myself, but first of all, we're going to talk about the current threat landscape. News, whilst everyone's been working from home, every day has been a new event. So, you know, Russian spies target COVID-19 research. The Garmin smartwatch users are getting their data's been given to third parties. Twitter's been hacked. Premier League lost £1 million almost due to hackers. Zoom botnetting and Zoom stealing Zoom credentials all over the world. So every day there is a new attack. It doesn't sleep. It's happening day in, day out. The next slide actually shows that. So Q2 last year in 2020, or Q2 this year, sorry, in 2020, there's more than 2.3 million malware attacks blocked by WatchGuard firewalls. 1.9 million of those was zero-day. Now, zero-day malware is malware that hasn't yet been caught by a traditional antivirus engine. It's malware that it doesn't have a signature as such. So the WatchGuard firewall and the Panda antivirus is having to interpret what the processes are happening on each machine, what the files are trying to do, and then determine if there is a zero-day attack to stop something like WannaCry ever happening again. And in Q3 of this year, we can see it actually increased by 1 million of malware attacks blocked, and more than 2.8 million malware was zero-day. Now, if I just go to sorry, if I just go to my browser for a moment, what we can then see is the threat landscape. So this is just over the last 7 days. We can see in the last 7 days alone, we had 103,000 malware attacks blocked by WatchGuard. So every day, that's 20,000 attacks. This is just looking at the UK alone. 93% of all malware was 0 day. So that is the stuff that isn't known by a traditional antivirus engine, which is why a solution like WatchGuard and Panda, with their EDR and their TDR technologies, are crucial. And we can even see what the top 10 known malware attacks were and the amount of network attacks that were blocked by WatchGuard alone, as well as the frequency of just network attacks where that's a traditional port scan. If I was to remove the filter and just do it by the whole world, this would be a very different filtering but a moment. So I need to click on Afghanistan, but you can then see the numbers are very different. So going back to the slide deck. So hopefully that gives you an idea of why it's important, and the website is just secplicity.org, which is one that WatchGuard run just to see what their firewalls are doing. Now, if you imagine other vendors with their own firewalls as well, it's not just WatchGuard that are seeing these attacks. It's probably billions of attacks a day that are happening on, just the sheer amount of volume going all over the world. So now we've got a few quick product demos and overviews. So we're going to be looking at DNS Watch Go, the firewall itself, and the Panda security engine. So before we go into all of that, we're of the WatchGuard solution. So we can do everything from a traditional firewall, whether it be a physical box, 1U, or if it's a virtual appliance that's hosted in AWS or Hyper-V. We can scale pretty much infinitely. We've got a lot of power, and it's all based on the users. So the amount of users determines the right firewall for you. Now, each firewall can protect against malware and evolving malware, ransomware attacks, and data breaches. We can even do the usual, stopping certain applications from running at certain times of day and controlling what the users are doing and providing that security for them. We then have our secure Wi-Fi. So WatchGuard do sell access points. We actually use them for the secure Wi-Fi element, and that's known as the WIPs, whereby the WatchGuard can actually monitor the airspace and see if there is a rogue access point, if there's a rogue device. And instead of just reporting on it, it'll actually do something about it and mitigate that and stop that rogue device from actually transmitting, which is crucial in, say, a shopping center or a guest solution, whereby you want to make sure the guests are only on your network and they're not connecting to a rogue access point where a malicious actor is effectively gathering data that they shouldn't be seeing. We then have WatchGuard's multi-factor authentication technology called, known as MFA. It's a really simple, easy to use cloud platform. It integrates directly with all the usual suspects. So it'll integrate with Microsoft Office 365. It can even allow you to not log into your computer until you enter in a token, which is provided by you on the WatchGuard app. So it's a really clever way. It goes above and beyond. It goes above and beyond what the additional multi-factor authentication systems are doing. And then we have the endpoint security. So in terms of WatchGuard DNS Watch Go, sorry. So this allows you to have a persistent always-on protection. Effectively, when you're on out and about or traveling, which, okay, not many people are doing now, but you can have a little agent that sits on your laptop or your. Effectively, this ensures that you've always got URL filtering and protection, stop you from going to those malicious websites. And if you do end up going to a malicious website by accident, it'll actually block it and bring up an educational message and tell you why it's a phishing website, for example, and what you can do, education, what to look for to make sure you don't do it again. It's also a cloud-based service, so it's completely managed by the cloud. And if you wanted to, it doesn't have to be on just a normal desktop or laptop. You can actually have it integrated with, say, a third-party firewall if you wanted to. Say you've got a firewall solution that doesn't do layer 7 filtering or application filtering or even URL filtering. Well, DNS Watch Go can sit on top of that and actually enable that filtering for you. And then we have the WatchGuard solution portfolio. So now we have our firewalls, we have our traditional security. have our Panda solution. So a Panda is a very recent acquisition by WatchGuard in March of 2020 this year. And it's allowing current and future customers and partners to consolidate their fundamental securities into one single parent company. It's an innovative solution, so Adaptive Defense 360. I normally say that it's not just a traditional antivirus because it can also do things like patch management. It can actually control the physical machine underneath. So with patch management, it's a user-friendly solution for managing vulnerabilities in operating systems of third-party applications, such as and servers. It reduces the attack surface while at the same time strengthening your organization's ability to prevent and contain those issues and errors. It does not require any new endpoint agents or management consoles. It's all fully built into the application. The benefits of it, you can discover, plan, install, and monitor your solution, as well as audit the solution as well. You can prioritize updates based on operating systems and the applications. You can even, and this is why I always say it's not just antivirus, you can even actually see what each individual user is doing on the network. You can see how much data they're sending, what applications they're using more commonly. So it's not just blocking the bad things, it's actually monitoring what the users are doing. The other reason why I say it's more than just antivirus, the endpoint is a favorite target for cyber criminals. There's plenty of known vulnerabilities to be exploited. There's lots of different software versions that are often out of date. It's past the time when businesses of all sizes need to implement a powerful endpoint solution, and that includes endpoint protection or EDR technologies. So with Panda antivirus, you have the uniquely powered by automated AI-driven that effectively it's always learning what the machine is doing. If it detects something that's not been scanned before, it won't let the file run. That's a safe file. If it detects that a process is trying to suddenly encrypt the drive when it shouldn't be, it will stop that process dead in its tracks. It's one of the only ways to actually make end-to-end is by having something that incorporates EDR technologies on the actual physical endpoint. And now we're coming on to the WatchGuard firewall demonstration. So I'm just going to go over to my browser again. Here you can see we've got something called WatchGuard Cloud. Apologies for that. So WatchGuard Cloud is a really intuitive way to see what's happening on the firewall from anywhere in the world. Now, by all means, I can log into our firewall and take a look at the web UI and log in. We can even log in with Active Directory if we want to do so as well. So we can see everything on our firewall that's happening as we speak. If I do a search right now and look for myself, I can then see all the traffic that I'm currently using. So you can see at the moment, I'm going out of our VPN policy. Traffic monitor, I can look at the network itself and my interfaces. I can even look at all my firewall policies and adjust any firewall policies I want to amend. While that's all well and good, if you're working remotely and you want to make a change on the firewall, well, you may not have direct access to it. Maybe you need to make sure your firewalls are up to date. So it is on the configuration of the firewall from WatchGuard Cloud, which is a completely free service for anyone that has total advanced security, is if there was an update due, it'd give me the option down here to actually reboot the firewall, or it'd give me the ability to do a firmware update on the firewall. To my monitoring, I can see exactly what the firewall is doing. So I can see the CPU usage, I can see the memory utilization on the slave. Now we're running an active passive setup, so the master is currently showing us offline because it's waiting for the slave to ever fail and then proactively take control of the network. You can see in the last economy, just today alone, we've had 1.8 million scans. If I look at the last 24 hours in total, or even actually the last 7 days, I can see that we've blocked 442 botnets. We've had 1,500 blocked requests via the web blocker, and we've had 43,000, intrusion prevention scans with 2 malware detections as well, where a file has tried to be downloaded that was considered as being malware and it was blocked by the firewall. And of course, we can see everything from our executive dashboard, which will cover everything that everyone's doing in depth. So the top countries we're going to, the top clients, who's done the most data over the last 7 days. You can see we're all fairly busy. You can see the top URL categories, domains, destinations, applications, and protocols. But we can actually look at our security dashboard as well. And this will actually tell you what's been blocked. So the top botnet sites that have been blocked, the top unblocked clients from where they're supposed to be going to. Ooh, bear with me, clicked off. We can see the URL categories and destinations, so on and so forth. We can even actually drill into each one of our subscription dashboards and see exactly how it's been proactively learning and behaving over time as watch. So this is a really easy way to actually start filtering based on connections. So I pick on Hugh Garrett, I can start filtering onto him, and it's going to show me exactly what Hugh has been doing over the last 7 days in terms of domains, where he's gone to. So it's all fairly, standard stuff, as well as looking at any application gone to and any destinations and web audit. So it's going to let that finish loading. Now, it is all hosted in Amazon Web Services, so it's highly secure and highly efficient at the reporting element. We can even go down to web audit and start looking at everything that everyone's been doing. You can even start looking at categories and start pulling off categories of who's done what when. And if you really want to, you can even go down and start looking at people's usernames and see exactly what someone has done very specifically. So if I look at myself, hopefully I've been well behaved. You can see the websites I've gone to, you can see the domain names I've gone to, the time, date, how much was uploaded, when and where. So the cloud portal gives you the ability to actually manage everything. So if I go back to my devices overview, I can see that I've got my warehouse WatchGuard firewall as well, where I can reboot the device if I want to. Again, allows you to manage any WatchGuard anywhere in the 1, 10, 50, 100, it doesn't really matter. Through one single pane of glass, you can monitor every single one, make any configuration changes, and better yet, you can actually automate any of the reports to come to you as well. So if there's a specific report you would like to create, you can create it, it'll email you either weekly, daily, monthly, whenever you email to you. And then we've got DNS Watch Go. So DNS Watch Go is a very clever service, and we actually use it for our guest network at Purdicom, whereby it allows you to filter devices and filter URLs through a single policy, bring that all devices are protected. Effectively, if you're on the road with your laptop, or say you're at home and you've got a cheap Linksys or TP-Link router, and you want to make sure that that endpoint is secured, and you don't want to install an agent on their device. Really simply, as long as the router is pointing towards the WatchGuard DNS service, you can filter them and tell you what they can do. So here you can see the top fireboxes that we've had and what we're looking at. But if I really want to, I can just go to deploy. I can look at my fireboxes or protected networks, and I just put in the public IP address it's supposed to be coming to. Or I can change what the security block page looks like, and I can preview this as well. So it's going to show you what it looks like there. I can change the block style, so it's going to preview the block page, and I can say website's blocked, DNS Watch Go, so it can be customized. And if there's anything that I need to learn because I've gone to a phishing website, I can actually go to the course, and it's going to take me to that course and load the data. So you can proactively teach your end users what to look for. And of course, your content filtering, whereby I've got one called Guest Network, and really simply, it looks like it's just expired. We can manage the groups, we can update the policy, we can change what it looks like as well, and change the categories we're looking for. So that is DNS Watch Go in a nutshell. So it's great for working from home, and it keeps you protected anywhere in the world. So I believe I'm handing back over to Paul now.
Thank you, Alex, for going over those different WatchGuard solutions. So as you can see, as Alex mentions, there's it's really simple, it's really easy to manage. What Purdicom can offer as well is the full support, both the training aspect, pre-install configuration, anything to help you as a business support you with WatchGuard. Now, some of you may already look to sell a security vendor. Some of you may not get into that security space because you haven't got the resource, or it's not something that you've ever kind of looked to get into. Well, I can reassure you, as I mentioned earlier, we can take not pain, but we can take time away from your team with offering some of our value add services with the professional guys, with pre-configuration, pre-setup, to make it as easy and simple for you guys to deploy. So there should be no reason why, if you're installing a RUCKUS wireless solution, whether it's Cambion, anything that needs security, you've now got access to an enterprise product, WatchGuard, to secure that network. Next slide, please, Alex. So, as I mentioned, these two products complement each other so well. They're both enterprise. It's now about securing the network, the wireless network. If you need support from Purdicom, from pre-configuration, from a pre-setup, you've got that access there. If you're a Purdicom partner, again, you've got full access to Alex and the team to help you do the pre-sales or to understand the right solution going forward. WatchGuard, they base their product on being smart security, and simply done. It is so simple, so simple. There's no complex security requirement needed. Of course, there's some wonderful information on the WatchGuard partner portal, which you can have access to, where it will go through training. Of course, they would love you to be trained in it as well and go through some of the sessions. But as I mentioned, they really do base themselves on being simple, and that's a key thing there. It doesn't require anybody to be super technical when it comes to their security. They offer, which I think is fantastic, something called the WatchGuard status match, because they appreciate, obviously, a lot of partners out there are obviously maybe very tied down to an existing security vendor, whether you spent a lot of time investing into that product, a lot of time and resources in understanding, doing the training sessions, getting yourself up to maybe a gold status or a platinum status within that partner. And you don't want to move away because you spent so much time and cost in that product, but that product for some reason isn't giving you what you need, or you as a business want to go in a different direction, and that vendor isn't offering you something that WatchGuard is. They're offering a WatchGuard status match where you can then turn around and say, I'm a gold partner in this vendor. They will match that for you. You would then instantly become a WatchGuard Gold for 6 months. So you'll have access to the same kind of discounts, or the gold discounts that WatchGuard offer. You'll have access to all the amazing products that WatchGuard can offer. You don't have to worry about going straight at the bottom, but you wouldn't be entry level. You wouldn't be starting at the bottom and have to work your way up. You're already given that help and support to continue to market and push the security products, and they're willing to kind of give you that support to start with for the first 6 months, and that will give you time to train, understand, for you to then progress and push on after that 6 months goes on. So it's a great way to say, look, as a business, we want to look at other products, we want to look at other security vendors out there. And we've now got an opportunity to go to an enterprise product, WatchGuard, and hit the ground running with some really aggressive discounts from the get-go. There's no stopping you from moving away. So obviously, just want to reassure you that is the case. As with all vendors, especially with Purdicom and what we offer, you've got full access to marketing campaigns and kits with MDF funds as well. So if you really wanted to do some real nice kind of targeted marketing campaigns, you've got full access to WatchGuard and their team, but also you've got full access to Carla and Purdicom and our team as well. So more than happy to engage with you guys and point you in the right direction, or work with WatchGuard and again with the marketing team at Purdicom. Obviously, promotions as well, which we'll talk about later on within this webinar, but some really quite key, nice promotions, both from an NFR perspective, so getting a nice lab environment set up so you can actually play with the kit, which I appreciate is pretty important, but obviously as well, kind of mix and matching some of the bundles together with the Panda and the endpoint and the multi-authentication type solutions as well. So onto the next slide, tools and value add. So I mentioned at the beginning of this session, what can Purdicom do to help you and support you with these products? The value add element is so key to us as a business, and it's what we really kind of value our business on, offering full support throughout the sales process, being from the beginning at pre-sales, even finding new partners, all the way to configuration to installs, and that is across the full vendor list. We will do that with WatchGuard as well. Some of the tools out there at the moment that WatchGuard offer to make it really easy for you is something called the WatchGuard sizing tool, which you'll have access to. It's really simple, very easy. Go onto the web, type in number of users, so whether concurrent users, type in the throughput required, and it will tell you the recommended appliance. So you haven't got to worry about asking too much information or understanding too much information about the network to be able to come up with a recommended WatchGuard firewall appliance. Okay, so it's an easier way to be able to scale the right firebox for that solution. And we all know the easier we can make it, the easier we can get price, and the easier we can get the solution ready, the better it is. So that sizing tool is a fantastic way of understanding what they would recommend. Now, of course, you can have that discussion with your account manager at Purdicom, and we can engage with people like Alex and the technical team about understanding the solution itself, or the site, or the environment, because there are going to be a number of things that do affect it. But for an easy, quick way to grab a kind of instant idea recommended appliance or an upgraded appliance, that sizing tool is there. It's available for everybody to go on the website, to click on, input as much information as you can, and you've got the recommended firebox. They also have dark web scanning tool as well, which is really interesting. So you can actually type in your domain here, and it will actually show you any exposed hacks that you've had to your domain. Something I think Alex did for us as a business recently to really understand kind of how exposed our domain is as well. So it's really quite a nice dark web scanning tool to maybe show your end users as well, to really get them to understand how important it is with security. I know with security, people tend to only react once they've been hacked, and obviously that is not the way to go. You need to be protected, and showing them this tool. And I know Alex again mentioned some of the tools earlier with this Secplicity, really trying to get them to understand actually it really is it is dangerous out there, and there's a lot of hacking going on that most people aren't aware of until they see tools like this and tools that Alex showed you earlier. So going on to the WatchGuard One Channel Partner Program. This is an award-winning program. It is a fantastic program. They really, really, really do spend a lot of time with you, whether it's Purdicom and the partner, or whether it's with the partner, really understand your business. Their key focus is obviously they want you guys to be profitable. So they have the deal reg process, they have lots of rebates you have access to, they co-fund certain things, they have options for MDF and more. So it is a really channel focused program that they run. As I mentioned before, they are a partner that offer an enterprise product, but you really do get that feel and love for a vendor as well. You don't just get left to do your own device. You've got access to them straight away, both Purdicom and the vendor. And I think that is really key when it comes to choosing a security partner. They're 100% channel focused. So they're there to support you. And as you can see there, every deal made, every product sold, every new customer gained is a win for both of us. And that's how they focus themselves. So they're not going to go after end users. They are going to support you. Purdicom will support you in finding that new business. Now, there should be lots of business out there. Like I said at the beginning, with our core business being wireless, we have partners that are installing hundreds and thousands of networks, new networks, every year. So they will need security. So it's either a case of you're not overly getting involved in security because you don't understand it, or you don't want to get into that space, or whether you're offering a different security solution at the moment. There is an option here to start pushing WatchGuard through the distributor that you buy your RUCKUS and your Cambium, Siclu, your Certa, whatever Ascom, whatever other vendor it is, and start adding a secure enterprise grade product onto there, which again will obviously secure the network and increase your revenue. And with the other Panda endpoint protection option as well, there's an additional revenue stream for you there. On to the next slide, please. Now, with RUCKUS Finance, they do offer a finance package. We did do a webinar recently about, I think it was the last one that we did a couple of weeks ago. So they offer a fantastic finance package that you can integrate other vendors with. So if you are a RUCKUS partner, if you are installing RUCKUS and other products and other vendors into that solution, you can incorporate that all into a RUCKUS Finance package. Now, we all know it's been a very, very tough year for everybody, and cash at the moment is so important with businesses. So there is not a better chance, not a better way now to really take that pressure off and look at the right finance packages out there to support you and help you and your end users. So this can all be integrated with RUCKUS. So if you are going RUCKUS, if you are selling RUCKUS, you can incorporate other technologies within that solution all into the same package. Get in touch with your RUCKUS, your Purdicom account manager, talk to them about it. Excellent opportunity here to go for a finance package or understand finance from RUCKUS, which again, like I mentioned, will take some pressure off you throughout maybe next year as well. So something to definitely look at. So on to promotions then. So we're running a few kind of end of year promotions. Some are really kind of based on the WatchGuard itself, but this one, as you can see at the moment, the Passport Bundle. So if you are looking at endpoint protection, the DNS WatchGo that Alex just quickly demoed, or even the Panda AD360, appreciate they're all three different kind of technologies, and we could probably spend an hour on each of them. But if you are looking at that type of solution, or if you're looking at moving away from an existing vendor and interested in these WatchGuard ones, there's some great bundles out at the moment. You're looking at kind of 20% off, I believe, with some of these bundles when they're all mixed together. Again, kind of contact your Purdicom account manager. More than happy to engage with the right people and get you some pricing over for the Passport Bundle. So this is the NFR Passport Bundle, again, for WatchGuard 1 partners. So obviously we'll need you guys to get signed up to become a WatchGuard partner. But this, again, is all around the WatchGuard Panda piece, endpoint security. They're offering some great value and huge discounts on the NFR. Security is one of those things, and most technologies, the technical guys want to get their hands on and really understand it before they push it, which we completely understand. So there's some really nice key kind of NFR opportunities here as well, just so you can play around with it and really get confident with the product before you then kind of go to market with your end users. think the next one we've got is around whips. So this was briefly discussed with Alex, something that the WatchGuard offer. It's all about that secure Wi-Fi, which I know again integrates fantastically with the RUCKUS piece. Something again, if it's important to your business, important to your partners, there's a nice offering here with the WatchGuard whips. Again, 20% off any secure total Wi-Fi sales. Have a chat to your Purdicom partner. They'll go through the whip solution a bit more in depth, and they'll go through the different options that are out there. But there's a really nice promotion, as you can see, to help you support you kind of go to market with that bundle, with that promotion as well. And that is for the WatchGuard One partners. Something that Purdicom are offering is our own NFR onboarding bundle. So we want to make it as easy as possible for you to get your hands on some of the boxes. So whether it's the kind of entry-level T15 box, or whether you want to go for more of a kind of mid-range M270 box, you have got access to some really aggressive discounts through the NFR scheme. Purdicom will also offer complete full virtual training. So you've got full access with Alex and his team to understand it. We'll go through the virtual training process with you with WatchGuard. We'll even offer 1 day of virtual configuration for free. So if you want us to do anything, any configuration work, we are offering that all free of charge to help you, again, understand the WatchGuard solution, understand the vendor itself, and to make it easy as possible for you to become a WatchGuard partner. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, the biggest thing here for value add with Purdicom is the training and technical support that we offer. So Alex and the team are there day in, day out to answer any questions. So if you've got any issues, any questions, any concerns, anything around heat mapping, and this is for all the products. This isn't just for WatchGuard. This is for any product that we sell. If you need any support on anything, you have full access to Alex and his team, whether it's the pre-sales element, whether it's scoping a solution, whether it's post configuration or post site surveys, anything to help you and your team and your partners. We're here to help. Logistics wise as well, we keep a lot of stock of all our vendors on the shelf, so we have full access to most of the kit, especially with the RUCKUS and the Cambium, and obviously WatchGuard being quite new, we will tend to start to hold a lot more of what we class as the run rate SKUs. But the SKUs that you saw earlier, the T15s, T70s, and the M270s. Finance, we offer finance packages both from a RUCKUS perspective, but obviously from a Purdicom perspective as well. So credit facilities, all about for our partners. So if you are with us already, you have full access to a credit facility. But again, with RUCKUS partners and with RUCKUS solutions, there's some great finance options out there to move from a CapEx to an OpEx type scenario. Sales with Purdicom, everybody's got their own dedicated account manager. So the nice thing here with all our products is you've got one person to go to. So you've got one person to go for your wireless. The same person can offer security. The same person can offer a SerTo UPS. The same person can offer a point-to-point link. The same person can offer a full network solution. You haven't got to go to multiple distributors. You haven't got to go to multiple people to get a quote. You have access to an account manager within Purdicom to get that full wraparound solution. So it's easy, it's quick, and it's simple. Then you've also got, as I mentioned, access to our technical guys to go through each vendor as well, so you can really understand each product going forward. And with the marketing, Carla and her team are a click away to answer any questions, more than happy to support you with your go-to market strategy, more than happy to kind of discuss MDF, which is obviously key, and there's access to funds for all our vendors, such as WatchGuard and RUCKUS as well. So as I mentioned, professional services, which is a key thing here at Purdicom, we're able to offer all these professional services. So site planning for the wireless piece, pre-staging for all our equipment. So in theory, you could have a wireless network with Ruckus or Cambium pre-configured by Alex and the team before it goes out, with a WatchGuard firewall, a SerTA UPS with ASCOM handsets, Encapto, pneumatics, everything can be pre-configured, pre-staged to what you need before it leaves our warehouse. So if you haven't got the time, or if you have got limited resources because it's so busy, or if you haven't got the resources there at hand to do the pre-staging or pre-config work, we can do that for you. We can send this all out before to site pre-configured. So you can just install it and away you go. There is that option there. So use it. We've got full access to it. You've got full access to it. Line of sight surveys available again with our Fascicula and Cambium EPMP range. We can support you with the line of sight. We do access points labeling. So again, part of our pre-staging, we can label access points for you, which is one of those types of scenarios that take a lot of time. And again, you probably want to use some of your resources in other areas rather than labeling access points. We can do that. Commissioning, we can support you with a commissioning piece, post-installation site surveys. Again, contact your Purdicom account manager to go through any of these professional services. But we can do from the beginning, from the post-installation, we can do site planning, site surveys, site installs, all the way through to post as well. Accredited training as well for all our vendors as well, so we can support you and help you with the training and deliver one-to-one bespoke sessions as well. On to the next. I think that's it. So we want to hear from you. If you've got any challenges, if you need support, do come to us. Really appreciate everybody for joining today. I know it's a very busy time, and I really appreciate everyone for taking the last kind of 50 minutes of their time to listen. I know I've reiterated it quite a lot over this webinar, but we are here to support you. There should be no reason why you can't get involved with the WatchGuard piece. If you want to understand more about it, you have full access to our technical guys where we can maybe do an in-depth dive into the technology. Please engage with your account manager. If you're new to Purdicom, please engage with Purdicom and we'll assign you account manager and we can kind of walk you through step by step of the process. So thank you again for everybody joining. We're going to go to questions. I think the last slide is a Q&A questions. Alex, is there any questions that we've got that you can see?
So there is a question in chat from a Mr. Robert Lowe. So he's asked, what level of WatchGuard subscriptions is DNS Go included with, or is it a standalone subscription? So it is a standalone solution. However, you can trial it for free. It does come along with the Passport program as well, where you can actually have Panda bundled in. But it is a standalone service, so you don't have to have a WatchGuard firewall to use it. It is a separate subscription.
Fantastic. And is there any other questions? I'm having a quick look now to see.
I can see there's a question regarding, does WatchGuard integrate with any other products? So the answer is yes, it does. So it is a firewall, although we will try and do a solution sell around our own products. It does work with other wireless vendors as well. It work with Cambium CM Maestro in the terms of your access points can obviously send traffic towards the firewall, and the firewall can control what users it. So electrical engineering asked that. Sorry, I can't see your name there. But yes, it does integrate. It will able to control the entire network, manage it from CM Maestro as they're two separate platforms, but you can control what the end users are doing on the network via the WatchGuard firewall.
Fantastic. Alex, I've got a question here for you. Ruckus has its own inbuilt URL filtering. So why do I need to use WatchGuard? So
it's a really good point there. So Ruckus has its own inbuilt URL filter, categorization based. That is great. The small issue is it's only managing the wireless. Now, most people, most scenarios will also have a wired network. So instead of just having the Ruckus only manage the wireless, if you can have the WatchGuard control the entire network, it's one place to manage all user connectivity and restrictions. So if you're going to do one blocking or blocking in a certain area, you may as well do it all at the WatchGuard instead of doing some of it on the access points and then some of it on the firewall. Because ultimately, although Ruckus is great, the access points have their own limitations. The firewall is a lot more powerful and it's designed to do one thing and one thing only, and that's control and secure your network.
Fantastic. There's another question. It says, can Purdicom pre-configure any of the equipment for me? So yes, as I mentioned before, any product that we sell, especially WatchGuard, can all be pre-configured. So it can all be pre-configured, sent out, ready to go to be installed on site to make your life easier, to make everybody's life easier, to take away time. There is that service there.
For we pre-configure, just to add on to that, it does come with documentation, so you will have an understanding of how it's configured and any usernames and passwords, or if it's a switch, for example, what port does what VLAN is it going on. All of that is documented for you as part of that service.
Brilliant, fantastic. So we'll just wait a couple of more minutes to see if there's any last questions. Again, appreciate everyone for taking the time to join today's webinar, and hopefully it's been useful. As I mentioned, get in contact with your account manager if you want to kind of learn more around the WatchGuard piece or any of our other vendors that we distribute for. And we'll just wait another minute or so.
So there is another question on from. So he's asked, I'm not sure if I misunderstood or missed it, but what level of Ruckus integration is with the WatchGuard? Is a zone director still required? So the Ruckus platform itself is a standalone platform, so it is separate from the WatchGuard. So effectively, the Ruckus Zone Director or Ruckus Cloud Unleashed, or they're a controller platform to send instructions to the access points, configure and manage them. So it is two separate platforms. The integration comes into how the WatchGuard can work with the access point. So for example, where I showed you earlier, that I was looking at my name on the WatchGuard firewall, and I typed in Alex Claro. That firewall was actually pulling in the information from our radio server, which is using with the Ruckus access point. So it was able to interrogate the radio server, see which access point I was on, and actually see what traffic I was doing based on my username.
Fantastic. Thank you, Alex. I think we're there. So yeah, thank you everybody again. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate you taking the time to listen to, again. As I mentioned, get in contact with Purdicom, your account manager, or if you're new to Purdicom, get in contact. More than happy to support you guys going forward and discuss any of the products that we've explained today, especially around the WatchGuard. And yeah, again, thank you for your time, and hopefully we'll hear from you soon. Thank you, Alex.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.